Okay, hello guys. Today, well, I guess I'll explain some things while some other people are coming in. Today, I decided that I'm actually going to pay attention to people. Holy shit. I was trying to see what you guys were saying in the chat in previous times, but I can't see the chat ever. So I'm just going to reload the YouTube video for comments at the very end, and we will see how well that goes. Aside from that, let's do this. There's a few things I want to talk about. Well, many things that I want to talk about. Uh, it's going to start off kind of. Well, mainly I'm talking about why GamerGate is almost a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point. There's really. What's the best way to put this? We almost can't lose at this point. We would have to have like an absolute meltdown, just an absolute collapse of complete idiocy, and like you'd have to have like an explosion where everybody just decided, fuck it, we don't really care anymore. We're just gonna go ahead and destroy everything. That would pretty much be all. That's all it would have to happen, and that's simply because of the utter stupidity that opposes us. And I noticed there was an article that got reposted today, and that's kind of going to be the launching off point for exactly what I mean when I say that we're facing people that are stupid. Now, I'm not saying that to be inflammatory. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm using it in an objective sense. And this article that got reposted earlier today, or actually maybe over the weekend, is an article at Ars Technica. Yeah, I know. But I'm talking about it because it's stupid. It's really stupid. And it's from May. It's an op-ed called "It's Time for Nintendo to Move Beyond White Characters." Now let me explain to you why this article is perspectiveless and moronic just from the headline. I've read the article. For the record, I've read the entire article, and it's exactly what it says, an opinion, but it's a baseless opinion. The author doesn't even really try to justify what he's saying. I think it's him, Sam Matchkovich. Yeah, it's a guy. He doesn't really try to justify what he's saying with any like studies or facts or figures or anything. It's just your typical politically correct bullshit. And I'm just going to go back to the headline for a second. It's time for Nintendo to move beyond white characters. Okay. Let me make a point here. Italian people are not white people. Okay? Italian people are not white people. They're whiter than people of other ethnicities. But wow, is it just fucking generalizing to say, oh, look, all the characters are white. Okay, if you say so. Like, never mind that we're in the heat of Gamergate now, where everything's about women and misogyny and feminism, and in Mario Kart 8, which is, by the way, the game this is about. This is a commentary necessary because the best Mario Kart game ever was doing too well, so they needed to find something to criticize about such a great freaking game. You've got 9 female characters in this game. 9. 9. And you know how many male... There's a lot of anthropomorphic characters in this game. Do you know how many male characters you have in this game? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3... debatable. 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got 7 male characters in this game. I guess if Toad's a guy, 8. Yeah, let's say Toad's a guy. 8 male characters in this game. 9 female characters in this game. No, the problem is that there are too many white characters. Oh, I knew there was something wrong here. We have too many anthropomorphic dinosaurs. We need to make one of them fucking black. Or Never mind that this is a Japanese gaming company and none of these characters are really supposed to represent any races of any kind. They're just fucking cartoon characters. They're drawn obviously with an anime style, like as similar to like Japanese anime, and that's become clearer and clearer the more that Mario has developed and evolved in the 3D video game medium. Is that the art, the design of these characters in 3D, and as the art becomes more and more refined, is an anime cartoonish style. This is an IP that hasn't really changed in over a decade. Since Mario 64, this franchise hasn't really done anything dramatic or, you know, groundbreaking. There haven't been almost any new characters added. The new characters that have been added are princesses. They're adding they're adding a bunch of female characters. I mean, the last male character that got added to the Mario canon and universe was Waluigi. That's it. Also, don't forget that you can use your Mii that you make to race. So you can make a black guy or an Asian guy or an Indian guy or woman. Insert woman for guy. You can do whatever you want in this game. No, Nintendo needs to move beyond white characters. So why is this fucking retarded? It's stupid because these characters were made in the 80s. The Mario franchise continues to be Nintendo's single biggest intellectual property. It always has been, and it probably always will be. There has never been any kind of market force or event that has triggered a need for change. It's only time for Nintendo to move beyond white characters because this is the 21st century and it's politically correct and all the fucking bullshit. These are Japanese characters, by the way. Mario and Luigi are Italian, sure, okay. The rest of the characters are Japanese. They're not white. They're not American. By the way, I just would invite you guys, since you guys are such geniuses, to go to Japan, where, sure, Japanese people aren't white, but they're not that far off. Why does a character in a video game have to be black? Does that make them a better character? Does that, in a fucking racing game, do you need to have a black racer or your game is shit? Are you retarded? Like, that's this article, though. It's nothing but a narrative. It's nothing but commentary. It's, oh, well, Mario Kart and Nintendo's games sell a lot in the West, here in America, and so we think we should have a say as to what's in your games. This arrogant fucking attitude of, we're smarter and better than you, even though they have no right to say shit. Shigeru Miyamoto has a right to say shit, because he built the Nintendo empire. He created Mario from his fucking mind. He created this entire multi-billion-dollar franchise. Some idiot, Sam Matchkovich, writing out of his arse for Technica, doesn't have a right to say shit about what Nintendo should do with its characters. You know what this was written in response to? This was written in response to Nintendo announcing their new Garage program, which is where Shigeru Miyamoto is working directly with a bunch of young game designers and programmers to create new intellectual properties. Their first game features no human characters whatsoever. I can't remember what it's called. It's a first person. It's a shooter with paint. I can't remember what it's called. Damn it. But it looks awesome, and the program is amazing because Shigeru Miyamoto's realized that he can't be the monolith behind Nintendo. There needs to be something new, particularly as he gets ready to hand over the company to someone else. So he's working with these people to essentially ensure Nintendo's future, and I have high hopes for it. It's going to be awesome because Mario's not going anywhere, but you need to add more to the Nintendo catalog, and it's only going to get better. This is in response to that. This is some idiot, some armchair commentator here in America with no perspective on the Japanese art style, which is that the anime art style was influenced by Disney cartoons in the 50s and 60s. Anime, a large portion of the way the art is and was as the rise of anime occurred in the 70s and 80s was based on a satire of Disney cartoons. The people with the big eyes, the women having huge eyes and little lips and all that, it was all a parody of Disney animation because Disney animation was almost a monopoly at the time. That's where it was almost a racist jingoism making fun of white people in America. This is how most people are drawn in a lot of anime, and Mario's cartoonish style fits the aesthetic that has always defined the entire franchise. But no, you need to forcibly insert black characters and Asian characters because what? Why? It doesn't make the game better. Well, okay, I see this fits exactly into what we think America should a game should look like. Yes, looks good. Fuck you. But that's the kind of stupidity we're talking about. I mentioned before, there aren't any studies done that show there's a kind of mandate from people saying that, oh yeah, Mario's too white. There's not enough characters of color. There aren't enough ethnicities represented. There's no basis in this. It's not like, oh, sales for Mario have dropped over the last 10 years from people who are black, Asian, Indian, Eastern European, Russian, whatever, who cares? Israeli. There's no Arab. There's no evidence backing this. It's just that, oh, whoa, why aren't there black people? This guy's a white guy. Of all the fucking people, to be like, hey, this game doesn't have any people that can be related to. It's a fucking white guy. Jeez. Dude, lay off your fucking white guilt and just let us enjoy our damn games. Because I tell you what, I didn't sit there during the year of Luigi and think, hey, it'd be great if Mario had a black cousin. Shaquiji. Yeah, that could be... Sorry. Oh god, yeah. I never stopped and thought that for any point in time, for any period of time. But that's kind of what we're talking about here. This is the stupidity we're dealing with, and it's just in general, as what we face in GamerGate is just as mindless and empty as this. There's no market research behind it. There isn't any sense behind it. There's no logic behind it. There's no facts and figures behind it. It's just a bunch of people just saying, this is the way it should be because, well, look how many people agree with me and also think it's the way this should be. But when that's what everybody thinks, when everybody's standing around going, look at all the people who agree it should be that way, that's meaningless. That's empty. There's no truth there. It's just a bunch of people nodding their heads. Well, okay, fucking great for you. Cut to today. Article released from TechRaptor. Why sexual objectification doesn't matter in video games. No, I'm not going to. This is a short article, actually. If you guys want to go to TechRaptor and read it, it just posted today. It's brand new. It's a very short article, but it basically outlines the argument of it's by a woman. It's by a woman named Lucy Walcott. So whereas with Ars Technica, you have a white guy, talking about how there need to be more black people and Asian people and Indian and Arab and people of different ethnicities in this game. A white guy talking about this. On TechRaptor, you have a woman talking about how sexual objectification in games doesn't matter. I'm sorry if that doesn't seem a little bit more credible to me when, over this whole Gamergate thing, the entire argument is that we're misogynists and we objectify women and we're terrible, horrible sexists, that a woman is writing an article about why sexual objectification in video games doesn't matter. And yes, she talks about men being sexually objectified too, because that's a thing. I know that no one that opposes this thing that men exist even, because according to Lee Alexander, misandry isn't a thing. It's not possible to hate men, because men should be hated by default, I guess. That's what we deserve for being born with a penis? Fucking okay. If that's the way you want to live your life. There's that. And this is a very good article. And it's 5 paragraphs, and the last one is 2 sentences. Kind of the point is that this is a video game. If there's no evidence that video games cause violence, why would video games be able to cause sexism? Why would if you play Grand Theft Auto and it doesn't make you want to go steal cars and kill people, why would playing a game where you have quote-unquote objectified women in it as a guy, why would that make you want to go out and, like, what? Have all women dress that way? Just, like, objectify, make all women look like the characters in the game? Like, why should it be a reasonable belief that it would make you sexist and want to objectify people of the opposite gender? It's fucking retarded, and that's kind of the point. And so this gets back into what I was getting. This is kind of the launching off point for what I wanted to talk about today, which is why this movement makes sense. Because obviously the opposition doesn't make any damn sense. They have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. They're too busy being idiots and running and throwing themselves under the bus to actually think about what the hell they're even saying. And let's just talk about this. In America, this is my opinion. In America, it doesn't seem to me that here in America, it doesn't seem to me that movements from the people are allowed anymore. Instead, the way it seems is that you have to have people behind you. You know, someone used the 2 examples the other day in a tweet about Occupy Wall Street and the Tea Party. And I was never really involved with or a party to Occupy Wall Street, so I don't really have any ability to comment on that whatsoever. But admittedly, I can tell you that I do have some familiarity with the Tea Party, and that is because my parents are very conservative people, a lot more conservative than I am. And so I went with them early on, like when the quote-unquote Tea Party was just barely becoming a thing. It had been like a thing for like a few months. And I went to a few like rallies with them, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty all right, and seemed nice. It was always calm and nice and fun. And I was like, okay, this is nice. I agree with these people about some things, and they're good speakers, and they're charismatic, and this is cool. I like this. It was fine. It was all right. As someone pointed out, at some point in time, while I was not paying attention, the Republican Party co-opted the Tea Party. The Tea Party was a very simple thing. We want fiscal control. We want small government. Very simple. Kind of like GamerGate is right now. It's very simple. We want kind of like GamerGate is right now. GamerGate says this. We want objectivity in journalism. We want ethical journalism. The Occupy Wall Street was the same thing. We're sick of people making money off of us not making money. Very simple message. We're sick of people making more and more money off of the fact that we're not making money. It's really simple, right? Until it got co-opted. Once the Republicans co-opted the Tea Party, then all of a sudden it's about illegal immigration. All of a sudden it's about Christianity. All of a sudden it's about all this bullshit. All this crap that are hot button issues for Republican politicians. I mean, it was, you know, it got turned into garbage. And either side, because I heard this from both sides of it. The Tea Party was constantly criticized by liberal commentators because, again, I paid attention to this. I wasn't really in either camp, and I still am not. But I heard the commentary as, oh, this is all organized because that somehow delegitimizes it. This is all just a bunch of bullshit. These people are awful and they hate everything and they're racists and they want to kill everyone. And I mean, it's all the same shit we're hearing from GamerGate. It was the same thing from conservative commentators talking about Occupy Wall Street. Occupy Wall Street was given not unending shit for the same things from people like Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity and Fox News. It was the exact same criticism, So that's what you got going on. Idiotic criticism. I'm sorry, I don't sympathize with Occupy Wall Street. I certainly don't sympathize anymore with whatever the hell we're calling, quote-unquote, the Tea Party nowadays. But I certainly sympathize with GamerGate, so let me actually make this make sense. The reason this is at all relevant is because that is the environment we're in right now for GamerGate. See, the Tea Party wasn't, quote-unquote, legitimate until the Republicans started speaking for them. It wasn't legitimate until they had representatives in Congress. Occupy Wall Street wasn't legitimate until MSNBC and CNN were reporting on it constantly, and Democrat politicians were getting up and representing it and talking about how they understood it. But guess what? All those quote-unquote acts of legitimacy fucking ruined the entire thing. And all the quote-unquote legitimate commentators that we had to sit and listen to who were criticizing the other side of their respective issues were all parroting the same crap. Oh, this is astroturfed. Oh, this is just a few select organizers routing a bunch of people up and getting them pissed off and screaming, and just like GamerGate came from a few people at 4chan, right? You see the point I'm making here? This is all the same game. GamerGate, right now, as it has been all along, is a movement that came from people. That's it. It's a movement that came from people. Granted, it was started by Adam Baldwin, but he's not really a spokesperson. He comments on it occasionally. The dude's an actor. He's got a life. He's doing other stuff. He agrees with us, and obviously he's the source of this in the beginning of it all, but he's not a spokesperson that's going out and quote-unquote representing us on the television, on interviews, in the news, none of that. And, I think there's a side of it that says, oh, well, that makes us easy to criticize. That makes us easy to attack. Well, I don't know if you've been on Twitter, but I have, and it's pretty easy to post hashtag Gamergate and have at least 2 or 3 people show up to be like, excuse me, what the fuck are you talking about? Because usually, the only reason you ever need to do that is if someone's harassing the living hell out of you, which I've had happen to me a few times now. But I guess mainly, I want to contrast where GamerGate is, where we're winning, where, we're having sponsors drop their advertisement on these awful, horrible websites like Ars Technica and Kotaku. We've got more and more people coming to see our side of things. There are a lot more people asking about GamerGate, and it's actually becoming more prevalent. The dialogue is opening up. The only problem is you've got the other side of it, our opposition. So let's review our opposition and see exactly what the hell they are. So first up, we've got John Walker, who is an asshole and who shamelessly admits he has no integrity. And shamelessly admits he will never and shamelessly admits he doesn't even know what journalism means. We've got Tyler Malka, who is a chauvinistic scumbag, who wants to get on his white horse and claim that we're all awful misogynistic people, but has no problem saying, quote unquote, sexual objectification is great. And then ban people from his own forum when they disagree with him. Classy. We've got Lee Alexander, who is a bigot and a bully. A violence-inciting bigot bully. You guys can have her. Every day that another Lee Alexander expose happens on Twitter, someone else posts some fucking ridiculous article or tweet or something she mindlessly put on the internet because no one ever reads the internet, right? I actually have to argue with people about it. It's like, I'm sorry. When you say you can't be racist against white men, you're a bigot. I actually had to argue that point with someone. I had to argue why that's bigoted. I had to explain to them that white is a sociological nomer that describes people of Caucasian descent, which is a race. If you've ever filled out any kind of standardized form, standard SAT tests in high school, there's usually a race box. A lot of the time it's optional, but one of the options is always Caucasian. It's a race. It also is telling that she doesn't say you can't be racist against white women. It's no, you can't be racist against white men. This is also the woman who said there is no such thing as misandry, like I said earlier. So she's a bigot. That's all there is to it. She's a horrible bigot. Then you got people like, Anita Sarkeesian, who as of now is a demagogue. I plan to never say a word about her, but because she was just a woman doing videos defending women and stuff. I don't agree with her, but pretty much the point where we realized she was a liar, that she never called the police. She's working with the FBI, sure, but who knows what that's about. They're not going to reveal details of an investigation. She never called the cops, never went and stayed with her friends. That was all a lie. A story she made up from nothing. A fucking lie. And now she's been harassing, she's been supporting the anti-Gamergate hatred that's been going on since the very beginning, and now she's declared a culture war. So, technically, that also makes Anita Sarkeesian a warmonger. Great people you guys are rubbing shoulders with. I'm sorry, if Rush Limbaugh fucking called and co-opted Gamergate, I'd tell him to fuck off. If Phil Fish decided, oh, well, now I want to represent you guys and I want to be your voice, I'd be like, no, go fuck yourself. There's no voice. We are our own voices. That's what the Not Your Shield thing is about. We don't need someone to get up there and tell us that we need to be spoken for, that we need to sit back down and let the adults handle it. Go fuck yourselves. I can't believe that people against us are totally fine with people like Tyler Malka and Lee Alexander and Anita Sarkeesian representing their opinions publicly. I cannot believe that they are so in denial and out of touch that I have to explain to them what the word bigotry means, only for them to back down and whip her off into the darkness. I don't understand. So, you've got good journalists. Surprise, surprise. Now an aside here, I know there's some big thing going on here because that I really, Julian Assange, can you maybe do us all a favor and WikiLeak the fuck out of the moderator that banned this guy for asking a question? Because this has got to the point of like a communist dictatorship. I know that's going on at the same time. That's okay. Mainly here, the point is exactly what I just said. Who can you think of that supports / represents GamerGate to any public degree that is anywhere near the kind of insanity or just fucking ridiculous shit that we hear out of these people at Kotaku and Rock Paper Shotgun and Gama Sutra and Ars Technica? I mean, as people have been very, very willing to constantly point out, yes, there is a minority of people in the bowels of 4chan who identify themselves as part of the Gamergate movement, who are shitheads. I'm sorry, are we going and digging up those people and having them write articles and post videos and go to conventions and give panels representing us? No, because that's what's fucking going on with the anti-Gamergate people. Their representatives are the fucking people that we keep in the 4chan basement. Their angry, vile minority is their representation. Our angry, vile minority is a bunch of anonymous, faceless, nameless people sitting behind their computers, probably a lot of them teenagers. Their representatives are fucking adults who write articles for multiple newspapers, including Time Magazine, who are famous personalities on the internet, who go to conventions and declare culture war on us. Their insane, vile, awful minority is their figurehead. Just wrap your mind around that for a second. I've encountered sensible people who are anti-Gamergate. I've had conversations and arguments with them. I'm not painting with a broad brush here. I'm saying those are your vocal representatives. The insane, bigoted, misogynistic scumbags, bullies, warmongers, demagogues. They're who lead your cause. Is this coming through? I saw a guy post today on Twitter. He was a writer for something, a smaller paper, not one of the big websites like Kotaku or Rock Paper Shotgun or Gama Sutra or Ars Technica, not one of the big sites that we're targeting. He was a smaller website, and he said, by the way, I'm banning anybody who talks to me about Gamergate shit. I have no respect for you, Pete. If you do, I have no respect for you as a person. It's like, oh, okay. Wow, this is super, super amazing intellectual, enlightened attitude you have there. Please. I mean, just put it in such a nice, peaceful way. I really want to know more about your side of the issue. Like, holy fuck. Have you ever heard the phrase, you attract more bees with honey than with vinegar? Fuck's sake. You better hold on to that bird in your hand, because there aren't any more in the bush, you asshole. Like, I just, it's examples like what I'm talking about that are the problem for them. It's a problem for Reddit, where just today, this guy, Shaska Ocelot, was shadow banned on Reddit for asking Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks, what he thought about Reddit's censorship. I mean, obviously, the fucking insane irony of being banned and censored for asking what people think about that very censorship is staggering. But when you have Julian Assange being asked that question, the guy who has not only the ability, but the clout now to go out and fucking end you, to do that like right in front of him where he's guaranteed to see it because it's in a discussion he's engaged in? Are you out of your damn mind? Like, I don't even know what to say. It's so fucking insane. But yeah, that's the shit we got to deal with. We have people, like I said, like John Walker, who says, oh, we can't be objective as journalists. I'm sorry, we can't be objective as journalists. But then we have the Neiman Foundation, a foundation that exists solely to uphold the standards in journalism. They have an article called An Argument Why Journalists Should Not Abandon Objectivity. And the subheader for the headline is, objectivity does not require that journalists be blank slates free of bias. In fact, objectivity is necessary precisely because they are biased. Okay, well, if that's the fucking definition of journalistic integrity and objectivity, okay, John Walker, congratulations, you're not a fucking journalist. I'm now going to officially call you a liar for saying that you occasionally do real journalism, because I don't believe that you ever do real journalism. If you're going to say objectivity is impossible, then fuck you. Then you're not a journalist. I was, at Nero, Milo Yiannopoulos was suggesting that people support a friend of his on Patreon, a game developer. And he immediately got a bunch of GamerGate people coming down on him for, oh, this is a conflict of interest, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. Okay, I'm going to explain this. If this guy is a friend of his, actually, I'm sorry, the guy's not a game developer. He's another journalist. The guy he wanted to support is a journalist, a game journalist. And there's, oh, this is a conflict of interest and friendship behind the scenes. It's not. It's, hey, here's another writer in the same industry. You want to support him? I'm not interviewing him. He's not making games. I'm not going to give him preferential treatment. I'm just saying, hey, here's a buddy who could use here's a fellow writer who could use some bucks. If he then went to if this guy started writing pieces and he went to his editors and said, hey, this guy could use a job, and then he got him a job, and then that guy suppressed any and all bad press about Milo, that would be a conflict of interest. Like, we need to stay focused here. We need to stay focused on things like the story I heard today. What the hell was the guy's name? I gotta go to my damn Twitter page. Anybody have any questions for the moment while I look this shit up? I saved this image. Anybody have any questions for me here while I'm looking through this? I've got to find the. I've got to find the. There it is. I linked it earlier today. It's a little tiny frog article. Brad Wardell, where he talks about being harassed endlessly because a bunch of SJWs, social justice warriors, decided that a book he wrote was sexist. They followed him to his gaming forum to harass him more, and the moderators banned all these people because they were coming on and either harassing or being off topic, which, is a standard rule on forums. If you're going to come here, discuss the topic. One of them was married to, I texted Brad and I have not heard, or sorry, texted him. I tweeted Brad and I have not heard back from him. I was asking him for a source for what the author at Kotaku was, and I haven't heard back from him. But he's a business CEO, so I'm not surprised. But he basically said he wrote this book, and this Kotaku writer, who was the wife of one of the guys who was harassing him, wrote an article at Kotaku where she worked, basically saying that his book was about a bunch of dark-skinned people who couldn't get over a fence, and it was therefore racist. It's like, his book doesn't have any dark-skinned people in it or a fence. We just harassed him into oblivion, and that's because it wasn't. That's because they just decided it was so. This is the harassment that we've got to deal with. It's made of bullshit. And when you challenge them, you'll end up with what happened today. When I posted that article, I got harassed by a guy named, he's called the Man in Black on Twitter. I have no idea what his handle is because I could not care less. Where he's basically harassing me and insulting me and attacking me as if I'm the one who wrote this article. And I posted a link to an article, and I described the content of the article. I don't know how I'm supposed to explain to you who's being talked about in the article and what the fuck is going on and who the people are. I didn't write the article. I read the article, and then I linked to it because I thought it was an interesting article. Plain and simple. Wow, mind-blowing, right? Wait, no, aren't you linked to something? Why haven't you read the footnotes and citations and memorized them all? What the fuck is wrong with you? You're all for banned. Like, holy shit. And eventually I realized, like, this guy just wants to be angry. He just wants to argue and fight because he's like a lot of people, not everyone, because I'm not going to paint a broad brush. He's like a lot of people that oppose us. Just want to be angry and yell and scream. They want to sit there and say we're all misogynistic and sexist. They want to say everything's awful and racist and terrible and horrible. This guy is self-professed that he likes arguing on the internet. I'll tell you what. There's a reason I can only do these vlogs like once every while. That's because if I sat here on a friggin' microphone, angry on the internet every night of the week, I would fucking stick a shotgun in my mouth. I would be so depressed. I'm not joking. I'm not saying this to be sensationalist. I would be so depressed that I wouldn't be able to handle it if all I did was sit here in front of a computer every day and focus on the negative. If I went on and did videos where all I talked about was how terrible Anita Sarkeesian and Lee Alexander are, an hour a night, every night of the week, and talked about how terrible everything is, if I did what fucking Rush Limbaugh does every day of the week, I couldn't live with myself. I'd be miserable and depressed. That's why I say I don't know how they do it. I don't know why these people want to come on the internet and hate. I don't know why they enjoy arguing with people and being horrible people. I don't know what does it for them. But I don't know what does it for Anita Sarkeesian and Lee Alexander publicly either. I don't know why they get off on being like, oh, look, we're the biggest, most important people in the room, and we're going to bully the shit out of you because you're all bullies. Wait. It's like the fucking song from South Park, Let's Make Bullying Kill Itself. Only it's their, like, serious life credo. Holy shit. I mean, I don't understand how we can possibly lose this fight. We'd have to like wake up one day and be like, oh God, we're a bunch of autistic amputees. Shit, we can't type anymore, and I suddenly have an urge to count toothpicks. How the fuck? How the fuck do we lose to these people? Well, because they're louder? Well, because our Anita Sarkeesian can hold a panel and in an echo chamber? Because Lee Alexander declares herself to be a megaphone? That's the victory? That's how we lose. That's all it takes. Well, I gotta say, if that was the case, then GamerGate would be pretty pathetic. But then again, they think we're pathetic because they thought a video game being released was going to be the end of it all. Destiny being released was going to put an end to GamerGate. Just because a game came out and gamers might care about that game, that we were going to stop caring about GamerGate. Because fucking what? We're going to wake up in the morning, leave our phones at home, go to work, come home, play Destiny until the moment we go to bed and then sleep? Or stay home, or, probably more realistically, Uh, Probably what they were actually thinking: we're gonna call in sick for a week, stay home in our underwear, and play nonstop 24 hours a day, every day, living on pizza, Cheetos, and Mountain Dew. That's probably what the fuck they think of gamers, as they claim to be gamers. Fuck off. Okay, Solo Wing asks a question for me. How can an indie get coverage in the shill lands? Well, I was just reading some articles on this. I guess it depends, really. I was reading some articles on Tech Raptor. I mentioned Milo's friend who he linked a Patreon to. The guy's a game developer as well as a writer, and he wants to not be part of the fucking machine anymore. There's also Tech Raptor. I was looking, and they posted earlier. Shit, what was the site that posted earlier? There was the site that posted Daniel Vavra's interview, asking him what he thought of Gamergate and that whole situation. There are a lot of the other smaller, admittedly, gaming websites that are giving a lot of attention to these indie developers. You know, they're what matter. What you have to understand is, like, these websites only got to be so big because of traffic. That's the only reason Kotaku is a fucking Andrew B.S. says the fact that there is a dedicated anti-Gamergate crowd now means Gamergate is working. Yeah, that's absolutely right. It should tell you something that Anita Sarkeesian has to go to a panel and talk about Gamergate and call it a culture war. If we didn't matter, she wouldn't have to do that. There would be no need to do that. If it was beneath her, she would let it be beneath her. It's not beneath her. It's annoying the shit out of her that it's more credible than her and that she's losing. It pisses her off that we've gone and dug into police records to find out that she made that shit up, that she was standing on as a pillory to her fucking incredible dedication to feminism. Okay, hold on, Solo. I'm gonna link you to the article I was just talking about here. Why sexual objectification doesn't matter in video games. There, the link. Comments can't contain links. Okay, eat my dick. Okay, that still counts as a link. Oh, come on. Okay, I was trying to type in the fucking thing. Oh, it can't contain links. I guess that makes sense. You wouldn't want people spamming you. It's at techraptor.net is back up. They've got several video game reviews up today. They've got one of Five Nights at Freddy's that I was really enjoying. I'm sorry, Solo, I can't post it in there. Comments can't contain links. Please put the link in your video description. Yeah, okay. Hang on. Let me ignore you guys for 5 minutes while I try to type a fucking link in the video description and talk into the mic. Sounds great. It's techraptor.net. Misfilled. Man, hey, Kane, who are you talking about when you say Miss Phil Donahue? Are you talking about Anita Sarkeesian? I'm sorry. This is funny to me. She was pissed off because of the harassment and stalking. Right. I'm not saying she's not being harassed. I'm saying that we have proof that I'm saying that I have a right to question how much harassment she's getting because we've proven that one of her biggest stories about being harassed has been proven to be a lie. She said that she called the cops and had to go stay with friends because there was a legitimate stalking threat. She then said, which sounded like bullshit from day one, that the cop asked her why, if she was under so much danger, why she wouldn't stop working. And, oh, it's so important and blah, blah, fucking bullshit. We now have proven that that was a lie, that that event never occurred. And so if that was a lie, I think I have every right to ask the question of how much of it was a lie. How many times did she say something happened and it actually didn't? And she did it for attention. She did it to bring more views into her videos. If she did it once, prove she hasn't done it again. Prove she only did it once. And I'll shut up. I know she's getting harassed. I know she's getting awful Twitter comments. I know she's getting death threats in her email, and I'm not minimizing those. But she's also making shit up for attention. And I'm saying that compromises her stance. That makes me question how awful the harassment is if you have to make things up. Legitimate harassment and stalking should be a situation of you can't make this shit up because it's so terrible. But when you make this shit up, it can't be that terrible because you had to make it up. It's as simple as that. I don't buy that she's pissed. I mean, yeah, okay, yes, she's being harassed. She's getting shit from people she probably doesn't deserve. I guarantee it. I can guarantee it. But that doesn't stop her from being a liar. That doesn't stop her from being a demagogue who goes to a panel and declares a culture war on GamerGate. That doesn't stop her from being a warmonger. She's a warmonger declaring a culture war on GamerGate. So fine. I mean, that's fine. I'll go back to making my internet videos, and she can go back to making her internet videos. Congratulations. Bring your fucking culture war. Go on. If that, as if that's really what she wants, I mean, okay. The guy doing the Sarkeesian effect vid called the San Francisco police and got the details, but most of us have seen right. Yeah. She didn't, I mean, I'm sure, I'm not saying that there has never been any harassment, that she's never been harassed. I'm not saying that. But when you have to make up harassment, how serious was it? Fuck, I mean, this guy Orphanos is the worst shit I've had to deal with. This one guy, I mean, that's why I'm not like saying that I've had it worse, because fuck off, I haven't. This one guy Orphanos trolling my friggin' video comment section right now is the most I've ever had to deal with. Aside from that one woman who decided that she was going to launch a campaign against one episode of Cover by Cover to declare it sexist that she didn't even watch, and she got the name of the show wrong. She launched into a rant against one of our shows because she read the tagline and decided it was sexist. She's a self-professed SJW. So, I mean, that's the worst I've had to deal with. A couple people. I mean, every public figure gets harassed, gets death threats. That's fucking the internet. That's America nowadays. My question is, why should that make? And I think this is going to be a controversial question. I think it's a legitimate question. Sol, are you at? Oh, okay. This is a legitimate question that I think more people need to be asking. Why does being harassed... What? Whoa, Andrew, too soon, motherfucker. What are you doing? No, come on, man. Come on. Don't bring that in here. We need Ray Rice to deal with Anita Sarkeesian. Holy shit. Come on, man. Try and have a serious discussion here. This is, anyway, okay, as I was saying, this is the serious discussion, the serious question that needs to be asked. Why does being harassed make you deserving of public attention? It's a serious question. Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn do not have a Lee Alexander. These three women do not have a monopoly on being harassed. They are not the three most harassed people in the world. They are not the three most harassed women in the world. So what entitles them to having a celebrity almost exclusively based around being harassed? Why do they deserve attention for being harassed as opposed to everyone else? If you have any following at all on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, you're going to get harassed. There are 51 people watching this video right now because of the Julian Assange stuff that's going on right now. The WikiLeaks stuff that's going on right now, this huge thing. One of them is a troll. I mean, seriously, you're going to have people. It's just going to happen to everyone who does anything publicly. So why should Zoe Quinn, who that's just done mentioning her name now, and mainly Anita Sarkeesian, why do they get to have their celebrity based largely on them being harassed? As if they're the only thing being harassed, people being harassed. Because celebrity is something that should be special. Celebrity should be based on something that makes you special. Brad Pitt is a celebrity because he's a great actor. Jennifer Lawrence is a celebrity because she's a great actress. Leonardo DiCaprio is a celebrity because he's a great actor. Martin Scorsese is a celebrity because he directed a whole ton of great movies. Give me 1 second, guys. Hey, Arfanos. If you're going to come in here and start the entire GamerGate discussion from the beginning, I'm going to block you. You are in the wrong forum. You have 1 minute to stop or I will ban you. You're not going to hijack my chat. So stop now. As I was saying, what makes them special? Because, that's what should make someone special. A celebrity, something they do. But now, all we ever hear about Zoe Quinn, every story is about how much she's being harassed. I haven't heard a fucking single story written about Depression Quest. I know nothing about that fucking game. All I know from all the press surrounding her is about Gamergate. Her celebrity is based exclusively on how much she's been quote-unquote harassed. That's it. Congratulations, Arfanos. You've been dumped. I know you were being calm, but he's hijacking the chat. He's posted like 30 comments in the last 5 minutes. He's not here to reason with you, Solo. He's here to troll and hijack and distract. He's a shill. As I was saying. Game. Yeah, I know. I know nothing about that. Every time I've heard Anita Sarkeesian's name lately, it's always about how much she's harassed and stalked and given death threats and rape threats. I'm not minimizing those things, but why is that all I hear about this person? Why am I not hearing about the merits of what she does? Why am I not hearing about the merits of Zoe Quinn's fucking game if it's so worthwhile? If she's so worthwhile, if she's a quote-unquote celebrity, why am I not hearing a damn thing about the merits of what these people have done? I'm not saying they shouldn't be able to go out and tell people they're being harassed. That's not what I'm saying. There's harassment going on, and they want to call people out. They have every right to do that. But when that's all you're doing, when that's all the attention that you're giving, that's all you are, is the harassment, there's no you. I know nothing about Zoe Quinn. I know nothing about Anita Sarkeesian. I know that they're demagogues, and they've been calling us harassers and misogynists and sexists. That's all I know about them. That's it. Because there hasn't been anything else they've tried to do. Like, holy shit. Be like the fucking GamerGate people. Be like us. Be like the people I'm following on Twitter who routinely talk about the video games they're playing. Who routinely talk about and post links to indie developers and game journalist stories they like. They're talking about games and journalists and developers based on their merits. Do that. Do those things. Those are the people you should strive to be. You should strive to be the fine young capitalists. I almost say the fucking young capitalists every time I say their name, because I think TFYC in my head, and every time I almost say the fucking young capitalists. Be like the fine young capitalists who said, "Hey, we're gonna host a contest for women gamers, and the best game, we're gonna make that game for them." Be like them. Reward merit. I don't care if the basis is a contest that's open to women only. That's fine. They're a private organization. They have every right to run their own contest, run their own program, do whatever they want. It's a competition. The best game wins. Do that. Zoe, if you're such a talented fucking game maker, a talented game developer, go and make a game for them. Anita, if you want to talk about women in gaming and be a real representative of fucking women in gaming, go and report on their competition. Go and be the first person to give an interview to the woman that wins, Lee Alexander. You want to be the megaphone for women in gaming journalism? Go be the first one in line to interview the female game developer who's going to make a name for herself in this business by winning the Fine Young Capitalists gaming competition instead of trying to bury them, instead of trying to ruin their company and hurt women's ability to get into the industry. Do something that fucking makes sense. Do something right and valuable. I'm sorry, I forgot who I was talking to. Well, I think that's pretty much all I want to say. Do you guys have? And basically, the point is, I sat and thought about this over the weekend, and unless we wake up tomorrow as babies with epilepsy, I don't know how we can possibly lose to these people. That joke's okay because I'm epileptic. Anyway, do you guys have any other questions real quick here? because we're running over an hour now, I believe, and I want to go play some more Mario Kart. Any last questions, guys? Aside from JT Camp asking if I'm sexy. I appreciate the question there, but more on topic. No? That's fine. I'm going to make sure nobody decided to post questions to Twitter this time. No. Yeah. We had several hundred people in the last ones. This time, though, I'm not going to say that I'm more important or worthy of time, sitting opposite. Maybe I have to refresh the page. Seems like the page froze up. No, everything's fine. Yeah, we're running at an hour now. All right, guys, I'm going to call it for now. I'm going to go check in on this Julian Assange WikiLeaks stuff, figure out what the hell's going on. I mean, I know this is a big, stupid thing, but I didn't think anything was going to come of it because Julian seemed to be kind of flippant about it. Like, well, this is the way it is, not much to do about it. No, why am I sexy? I could not tell you. It's just comes naturally. Not much I can do about it. Sorry. But anyway, I'm off to go back. I thought you were playing that other game. Other game? You mean Umineko? Dude, don't fucking bring Umineko into this. I try to play that game. It's a visual novel, and I try to play it. And every time I've played it for like an hour or two at a time. I don't play it for like GLHF. I'm sorry, what the fuck does GLHF mean? Solo, you gotta enlighten me as to that lingo, because I have no idea what the hell that means. Anyway, Umineko. I try to play that thing for an hour or two every time. And every time I think it's about to get to the story, more nothing happens. More nothing. It's just like a self-fulfilling boredom. I'll probably play it later on tonight because professional victims are a new occupation recently. Holy fuck, Kane. I wish I could upvote that because that's absolutely true. It's pathetic. It's sad. In fact, it's worse than reality TV. It's worse than the fucking people who are celebrities because they're celebrities. Oh. Thanks, Solo. Yeah, Umineko. I don't know. Have you guys can sound off on this. Have you guys ever played any visual novels? Imported to America or otherwise? I don't know how fast this is updating. I feel like there's like a 1 minute lag in between the messages I see and when you guys actually post them. Have you guys ever played any visual novels? American imported like Steins Gate or fan translated like Clanad or F or When They Cry? Any of those things? Have you guys ever tried out any of those? I mean, I play them because I'm into anime, and a lot of the best anime are based on visual novels. So that's what got me into them. A few? Okay. Yeah. I haven't played all that many either. I've played Clanad, I'm playing F, and Umineko right now. I've got Rewrite, which is like one of the newer ones from Key, the company that made Clanad, sitting over on my other desk here. I was starting to play it on my laptop, and it was actually really funny and really enjoyable, but then my laptop broke, and I still haven't gotten it fixed. Does The Walking Dead count? The closest thing to a visual novel, I'll answer that because I'll answer that in the best way I can. The closest thing to a visual novel that a video game can be is Phoenix Wright. The Ace Attorney games are like a melding of a visual novel and a video game. The video game segments being the courtroom scenes. Foxconn, I read Umineko up to episode 6. I'm still in episode 1. I still have not seen Beatrice even fucking once. We are still talking about the dinner table and the fucking sitting order and shit. And I've played this thing like 10 hours. Jesus. The state of this game's storyline. It's like, fuck, yeah, like, Clanad was like 500 hours, admittedly. But you know what? When I had to retread over stories that I had already been through before, just to get to after story, I could fucking blitz through them. This is one story for the whole game. Like, I can't blitz through this. I need to read all this shit. So, oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah, it's time to go back to playing games. Umineko eventually. Hopefully Mario Kart immediately. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys, and remember, we got this. See you later.